What's up, everybody? It's Dame Lillard. I just got another workout in, another day in my comeback, another day of progress. Got on the court this morning, did some PT work, and then I came here to work with my trainer, Jim Aaron. Just to keep building, keep getting stronger, getting my legs stronger, got some boxing in, did a little bit of conditioning. But ultimately just, making sure that I come back right, keeping my body strong, keeping my mind right, and, continuing to make progress.
The workout was designed today to make sure that we hit every area. We make sure we go through all the planes of motion, make sure he hits upper, lower, and core. So it was more like a full body. And then we did some conditioning, and then we finished in the ring with boxing, which we always do when we finish a workout the majority of the times. And we started off with some warm-ups, but then we did a rotation on the Proteus, trunk rotation, where he creates rotation, and then we combined that with some push-pull, left and right. We got in our boxing stance, but what I'm looking for on that is like a push and a pull, so you work in both. And then we combine that with the anti-rotation, where he fights the movement that I create, which is a great complex, so where he can create a movement and then resist one.
I really enjoyed that exercise today, but especially in the process that I'm in, because I'm coming off of a core muscle injury. So just building it back up from scratch, and making sure that my foundation is strong, and strengthening my core, and making sure that I can brace and hold certain positions.
And then we did some pulling movements. We did a renegade row, and I like him to be in a position where he's like not in a full plank, more like a football stand position. And then I put a plate on his back so he can keep his core tight and do a little bit of anti-rotation, so he's fighting it while he's doing some rowing. And we combine that with the water rotations. And what I really want him to focus on that is not to be really like fast. I want him to be first. I want all the water to shift on one side, relax, be calm, and then create again. So it's not designed to go really fast back and forth. It's more like detailed to be relaxed and then move like you would do in a game.
That's one of my favorites, just the quick twitch type exercises where I got to generate force out of nothing and basically go from 0 to 100, and just get to it and be able to do that, but also be calm and to be able to control it. Because that's how my game is, I'm slow to fast, from a stop to full speed, just bursting, shot out of a cannon. Balance, being able to generate that type of force with that type of speed and control it is big for me in my training, so they can translate to, the way I play on the court.
Our leg moves, what I like today is we did a back attack where he's in like a good morning position, but the strength curve is reversed. So when he comes to the top, he has the most tension. And I combined that with two other movements, but one was to the side step where he's stabilizing and driving one foot while the other side is stabilizing. So we did some change of movement and direction there, so we're not always linear.
That exercise, especially where I gotta, stabilize on one leg and be active with the other, is big for me because, I've had some issues with my quad tendon over the course of my career, just from wear and tear and so many miles, and this being my 11th season coming up, to where I wanna train in that position so that I'm comfortable whenever I'm low to the ground and changing direction, or I might be in a vulnerable position with somebody pushing up against me, but I can still execute whatever it is that I'm doing in that position and not put myself at risk. So that's major. And then also strengthening my hamstrings, because I do play so many minutes and I play such a forceful style of game. It's important that my legs are strong, but my hamstrings don't, give out on me when I'm out there, at the end of games or late in the season or whatever the case may be, that my body can hold up.
And good and last, we go right here in the ring and get our boxing. And it's been such a pleasure to over the years to do boxing, because when you have an athlete who's really good at a sport and then he goes into another sport that he really, really loves watching, doing, being a part of it, and not just the big main fights. He sometimes watches the little guys from back, and I'm like, how did you know about him? Because he goes, he already watched him like 2 years ago.
I'm a huge boxing fan. I love the sport. I got a lot of respect for the sport. There's a lot of people out there that, they tough in their head, but when it really come down to it, they don't know how to properly defend themselves. They might not back down from something, but that won't stop you from getting knocked out. So being able to protect my kids and my wife, if we out at a movie and anything comes up, I want to be confident and comfortable knowing that, I can protect them. So that's, one of my primary reasons for enjoying it. But the conditioning, like he said, the hand-eye coordination, the getting tired and you know, your fight or flight. You know, in the ring, you get tired, and if you want to give in, you can get hurt. So, you know, it puts you in that type of state to where, you know, I get in the fourth quarter sometimes, and, you know, I'm tired in the fourth quarter, but I don't have to have my hands up the whole time, and I don't have to keep moving, and I don't have somebody coming towards me and stuff like that. So it helps me in that way. You know, those are the reasons why I think it's important, and also the reasons why I just, you know, I really enjoy doing it. All right, everybody, that's my workout. We just got it in. Just another day in the office. Got some upper body in, some lower body, some conditioning. Got some boxing, as you can see, we in the ring. Had to throw some hands a little bit. And it was just another great day, you know, to keep adding on top of what I've been doing. You know, I think this is very important for everybody to be able to, you know, find a gym, take care of yourself, you know, get yourself in shape. Because when you know you're doing the right things and you know you're taking care of yourself and your body is feeling good, I think that makes everybody feel better about their lives. Find a gym, pick up some weights, get your body moving, you know, give yourself a better chance at having a healthier, longer life.